Imo. Ihedioha did not win 2019 election. Willie Amadi. Welcome to the news, and thank you for tuning in to listen. Ordinarily, one would have let the sleeping dog lie over the incredible revelation in Second Chance, a book written by Barrister Chief Willie Amadi, in which he graphically illustrated how the People's Democratic Party (PDP) in Imo State and its candidates in the 2019 governorship election, Honorable Emeka Ihedioha, were fraudulently declared winners of the election by the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC), whereas they did not win the said election in actuality. Now the news in detail. But there is a limit to what can be condoned with silence. True, silence is golden, but in certain contexts, the English also say silence is consent. Yet, even in speech communication, there are rules of engagement. Talking isn't as free as many assume. There are set rules and regulations for talking. Steadily projecting the executive governor of Imo State, His Excellency Distinguished Senator Hope Uzodinma, in bad light at this point in time for unresolved allegation of financial misconduct of a past before he became governor is not only prejudicial contempt of court, but an abuse of principles, rules, and regulation of talking. In the eye of the law, Governor Uzodinma is very innocent until proven guilty of whatever allegations against him that ended in court before he won the 2019 governorship election and thus became the executive governor of Imo State. Yet, to Imo, PDP is quite normal, right, and correct to pass guilty sentences on him, even before the court hears the petitions. They forget that there is no holy or saintly politician anywhere in the world. Hence, they throw caution in the wind, spewing all manners of false allegations against Governor Uzodinma. Little did many Imolites know that PDP Ihedioha did not win the 2019 governorship election in any way. In the book Second Chance, published in November 2020, Willie Amadi gave a detailed account of the illegal journey of PDP and Ihedioha into Douglas House, the seat of power of a government of Imo State, in 2019. For some time now, the story of the fraud has been trending on the social media. Normally, when once a story is told and published in a book, which is in circulation in the world, when the author has said is, quote me, there won't be any case of I misquoted or I was quoted out of context. Instructively, Willie Amadi was a participant in the movie-class story of espionage and harsh plots to perpetrate fraud. To that extent, Second Chance is a first-person narrative of a real-life event, which accounts as very plausible and credible. I saw isn't same as they saw. Willie Amadi saw and Willie Amadi reliably reported firsthand. Incidentally, since after the revelation of the 2019 PDP and Ihedioha electoral fraud, the PDP has been throwing imbecilic tantrums, abusing, insulting, and cursing Willie Amadi and any other person that dares to ask what's gone. Yet, there is no contrary argument to the revelation by way of rejoinder. All the PDP has sustained its unhelpful abuses, insults, and curses. They resorted to producing flashback news reports about the false allegation leveled against Governor Uzodinma in those days of old. In the face of grave indictment, it is not enough to say it is a lie and walk away. There is no need to clarify how and why it is a lie. PDP has not done that. Uzodinma went to court to prove his innocence of the false charges brought against him by his detractors that have almost remained phobic of his rise in national politics. The revelation by Willie Amadi in his Second Chance of a book are too weighty to be undermined, swept under the carpet, overlooked, and wished away. That PDP and Ihedioha were illegally and illegitimately pronounced winners of a 2019 governorship election isn't a minor gossip. Fortunately, it is in a book that has gone viral in the world. The world knows. An excerpt from the book may guide our fans and readers here who are not privileged to know anything or much about the 2019 governorship election in Imo State, which was conducted on Saturday, March 9, 2019. While the collation of votes was going on in the early hours of March 10, 2019, insider information from INEC showed the likelihood of a runoff between Nwosu and Ihedioha. I reached out to Chief Tony Chukwu, whom I knew had access to the presidential villa, Abuja. As collation entered into a critical and determining stage, I drove to his residence at Civic Center. I met him with Chief Longas Anyanwu sitting alone in his expansive parlor. I intimated them with the feelers I was getting from INEC and demanded to know from him who between Nwosu and Ihedioha we should support. He replied angrily that Nwosu was a no-go area. He explained that he was not ready to help sentencing Imolite to another gruesome 8 years, since he was certain that Nwosu was going to be a surrogate governor to his father-in-law, the outgoing Governor Chief Rochas Okorocha. On Ihedioha, he had mixed feelings based on the letter disrespect to him and an allegation that Ihedioha had told some powerful people in the presidency that he, Chukwu, voted for Atiku Abubakar rather than Buhari the previous week. It took him close to 40 minutes to placate him with an appeal that he should forgive Ihedioha since time was of essence. Chief Longas intervened and spoke in a similar vein, pleading with Tony to help in delivering Ihedioha. Before going to Tony's place, I had called Ihedioha to find out how he was faring and whether reports from his election control room were favorable. Typical of Ihedioha, he confessed that he was having problems with the issue of spread, but that hoped that the 6 remaining local government areas would sway in his favor, a hope that was eventually dashed. While Tony was still trying to make up his mind, Chief Anyanwu took a step further by putting a call across to Chief Emeka Ofor, a well-known and influential businessman from Anambra State, and solicited for his intervention. Not too long after, Chief Ofor called Tony and spoke with him after their conversation. Tony received calls from governors of Ebonyi and Abia states. When I realized that Chukwu had been captured emotionally, I conspired with Longas to take him to Senator Hope Uzodinma. We returned to Tony Chukwu's house, and once there, I called Ihedioha to alert him that action would soon commence. As soon as we got back to the house, Chief Chukwu called Malam Abba Kyari, the late Chief of Staff to President Buhari, the Minister of Interior, Major General Dambaba, the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, as well as the National Security Advisor, Major General Mugono. According to him, they all agreed with him that Okorocha's candidate Nwosu was not favored by the new power configuration for 2023. When it appeared that our efforts were beginning to yield fruit, in fact, 70% successful with directive communicated to the INEC chairman from the appropriate quarters, I suggested to Tony to invite Ihedioha and Jones Onyeriri for the final capture and possession. While the two were in Tony's house, the result was announced and Ihedioha was declared winner. And obviously dazed Ihedioha turned to Tony and asked, "What is the source of your power?" Tony brought out his rosary and waved it before him. Okay, and this has brought us to the end of the news. We say thank you for tuning in to listen. Until I come your way next time, enjoy the rest of your day.